All right, y'all. Most of y'all are in Module 3, which is the geometry, measurement, that kind of thing. I walked around, helped a lot of y'all with the same problems. Guys, today is October 26th. We only have 9 more class periods. That's it. And one of those is to take your scheduled assessment. So we only have 8. You have 8 classes and then 1 class to take your scheduled assessment. So we have 8 more classes to get our pie as juicy as we can. Y'all kicked butt today. I don't know if maybe that one day off yesterday helped y'all, but y'all really did awesome today. You're at 77%. You came up 3 or 4% since last time. So what we're going to do today, I'm first going to take anything that you want me to go over, and then I'm just going to start going over stuff that I see y'all struggling in geometry.
The rectangle and the circle, you know, for the area, if you do that.
You want the ones like that?
That one with the circles inside of it too, right?
Oh, that and this?
Yeah. That,
Okay.
And it's like that one, but at the same time, like it's like.
Oh, it looks like this?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you're doing those are area problems. And I had several of you that were struggling with those today. So if I give you a shape and I say find the area, and let's say it looks like that, and I give you, I'm just going to make numbers up, 10 and 20, okay? I want to know the area of that. Well, in order to do area, I have to know formulas. So what shapes do you see? When you look at that, what do you see? A rectangle and half a circle. So in that problem, you have to be able to realize, and I had several of you doing these today, you have to realize that that shape is a rectangle with half a circle added to it. So when I do this problem, it is going to be a rectangle plus half a circle. So here's my rectangle, and here is my half a circle. So I have a rectangle plus half a circle. Now, the formula for the area of a rectangle is what? We got to do the area for both of these. Length times width. And the formula for area of a circle is pi r squared. So if you look at your rectangle, can you tell that my rectangle is 20 by 10? Are we good with that? 20 times 10 is 200. So my rectangle is 200. Now we have to do our half circle. So this is my half circle. Now, I know the formula for a full circle. The formula for a full circle is pi r squared. So I'm going to do 3.14 times something squared. What is the radius of that circle? Because this was 10, that means this is 10, which is your diameter. So if your diameter is 10, your radius is going to be half of that. So it's going to be 3.14 times 5 squared. So 3.14 times 5 squared. Now, that's the area for a full circle. So 78.5 is an entire circle. Am I adding an entire circle?
No, half.
I'm adding half of it. So I'm going to cut that in half. So that means this piece is 39.25. This piece is 200, and I'm gluing them together, so I'm adding. So this was a 78.5, which was a full circle, so I cut it in half. So 39.25 is half a circle plus the rectangle. So my answer is going to be 239.25. And because it's area, my units are going to be squared.
And if the circle in the rectangle, you subtract.
Okay. If I have another example, if I use my same 20 and 10. 20 and 10. And this time I do like that. do you see that my first problem was a rectangle, let me come over here. My first problem was a rectangle plus half circle, that's why it's added. This shape started out as a rectangle, but I subtracted half a circle. So when it goes in, it's like your belly. If you push your belly out, you're adding weight. If you suck your belly in, you're subtracting weight. So this one is sucking in. So we're subtracting that piece. So this one is going to be our rectangle, which is here, minus half a circle, because you're sucking it in.
So we already know what a half of the circle is.
So in that previous problem, we knew the rectangle was length times width, which is 20 times 10, which is 200. And your full circle is pi r squared, which is 3.14 times 5 squared is 78.5. Then we cut it in half. That gave me my 39.25. But because you're sucking in, that's why it's subtraction. So this one would be 200 minus 39.25. So this one would be 160.75 inches squared, centimeters squared, whatever. Now, what if I gave you this one? And I told you to find the area.
That's a whole circle.
So this is a rectangle plus a whole circle.
I remember you said that.
So this one's going to be the 10 times the 20, which is the 200. And then when I do my circle, where this was 10, that means my radius is 5, so I'm going to do 3.14 times radius squared. Well, we need a whole circle. 78.5. So this would be a 200 plus 78.5. So what if I do this one? What is that one? And I tell you to find the area. This would be the rectangle minus the full circle. So it would be the 200 minus the 78.5. Does that help? Now, anybody else have any that are burning on them? Let's look at some. We did a lot with the geometry stuff. We talked a little bit about measurement, but not much. We talked about it a teeny, tiny bit. When you weigh something, we either weigh it in ounces, pounds, or tons. Ounces are tiny. Y'all know y'all eat like an 8-ounce steak. Ounces are not that big. Pounds are going to be a little bit bigger. You weigh in the pounds. Tons is going to be really big, like the weight of a car. So, capacity. Capacity is how we measure liquid. So when you look at a bottle of water, it's either going to have ounces, cups, pints, quarts, and gallons. We all know about a gallon of milk, okay? An ounce is T90. We drink from a cup. Now, pints and quarts, y'all, these are like moonshiners. Those jars that they put moonshine in. Those are pints and quarts, the mason jars, the jelly jars. If we want to know how long something is, we do inches. An inch is about the width of your pinky. So how wide your pinky is, that's about an inch. A foot literally is your foot, 12 inches. A yard, yardsticks. Your teacher used to walk around with that yardstick, that meter stick. And finally, we know what miles are. So you need to know these units, because if I say Donna ate an orange that weighed 7 ounces, 7 pounds, or 7 tons. So if you're weighing an orange, is it going to be 7 ounces, 7 pounds, or 7 tons?
Pounds. Ounces.
Think about when a baby is born.
Think about an orange, man.
Think about when a baby is born. A lot of newborn babies weigh around 7 pounds. So if you put a baby, a newborn baby, and an orange on a scale, is that going to be the same thing? No. An ounce, so this one's going to be ounces. Keith drank 3 ounces, 3 cups, or 3 gallons of juice with his lunch. Cups. If you have children, ounces. If you ever have kids, the little syringe thing that you suck the medicine up in their mouth, that's in terms of ounces or milliliters, same kind of thing. If you take cough medicine, they'll put that cough top thing on there and they'll say take 2 ounces or take 2 milliliters. So an ounce is not that much. And if you're only drinking 3 of them, that's not even a good sip. Rihanna's classroom is 30 inches wide, 30 feet wide, or 30 miles wide.
30 inches.
Now, an inch is the width of your pinky. So if I take my pinky and I do 30 pinkies.
I say feet, yeah.
30 feet, literally think of your foot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And we know it's not going to be 3 miles or 30 miles for a classroom. So that one's going to be feet. All right. Now, we started talking about this, but I want to make sure you understand. This says 2 yards is how many feet? 2 yards equals blank feet. The units that you were given, you want those to go down here. It is critical how you set this up. Whatever units you were given goes on the bottom. Whatever units you try to find, that goes on the top. So this is your sum. Listen, this is your sum. We want the yards to go away and turn into feet. So if we pull up our formula sheet, these are all my sums. So I'm going to take these sums and I'm going to put it on my notes so that we can have, come on, there we go. So these are all the sums. And if you've lost your purple sheet or you don't know where your formula sheet is, just let me know. So we're going to take, let me put that over here. So the something that I'm looking for is yards and feet. It's right here. 1 goes beside the yard, 3 goes beside the feet. Watch at my units. Yards and yards cancel. Both of my numbers are upstairs. If they're both upstairs, I multiply them. The only letter that's left is feet. So you've got to always make sure that these 2 units match, and that's the unit you're trying to find. So what if I gave you a problem that says, example, 30 feet is how many yards? 30 feet is how many yards? You start out with 30 feet and you multiply it by something. What units go on the bottom? What units go on the bottom?
Yard.
You've got to make sure you do your units right. You start off with what you're given. I was given feet. Feet go down there so they'll cancel. Up here, I was given yards. That's why yards went on the bottom. So feet goes on the bottom. What's going to go here?
Yard.
Yards. Okay, feet on the bottom, yards on the top. So my yard is going to go here. Now, we come over to the formula sheet. We are using the same something. What am I going to put beside yard? What am I going to put beside feet? 1 yard is how many feet?
3.
So for both of these problems, I use the same something. On your top problem, do you see that all your numbers were on the top? So you multiplied. Look at your numbers here. What do you think you're going to do with those numbers?
Divide.
You're going to divide. This one's going to be 30 divided by 3. which is 10 yards.
So you don't do nothing with the one.
The one, you're gonna have a 1 in every single one of these somethings. If you multiply by 1, what is 30 times 1?
Oh, I didn't know.
30.
30. And over here, what is 2 times 3, 6 divided by 1? So we never look at the ones because if you multiply by 1 or divide by 1, you're not changing the number. So we always look at the numbers that are not 1. So y'all, what if I was trying to set y'all up and we did an international dating site? And let's say the man weighed 102 kilograms. I want to know how many pounds that is. 102 kilograms, how many pounds? So, we multiply by the something. What units go on the bottom?
Pounds.
Whatever you're given goes on the bottom. Whatever you're trying to find goes on the top. So, kg is going to go on the bottom, lb is going to go on the top. So, I go to my formula sheet, and I need to find pounds and kilograms. Look right here. Pounds and kilograms. So what am I going to put beside the LB?
2.2.
2.2 goes beside the pounds, and 1 goes beside the kilogram.
So you want.
So am I going to multiply or am I going to divide?
Multiply.
I'm going to multiply because both of my numbers that are not 1 are upstairs. So to get my answer, I'm going to get 102
So they. Right,
divided by
so
2.
they're right beside each other?
If they're beside each other, oops, I did divide by, my bad. So it's going to be 102 times 2.2. So if somebody weighs 102 kilograms, that means they weigh 224.4 pounds. Let's do another one. What if I say, 9 cups of flour is how many ounces of flour? 9 cups of flour is how many ounces of flour? I'm going to do 9 cups times what goes in the bottom? Cups. What goes in the top? Ounces. So cups goes in the bottom, ounces goes in the top. Then I'm going to look and try to find me a something. I'm looking for ounces and cups. Do you see an ounce and cup? Right there. So what am I going to put next to the ounce?
8.
What am I going to put next to the cup?
1.
Am I going to multiply or am I going to divide?
Multiply.
For this one, you're going to multiply. 9 times 8 is 72. What are my units going to be?
Now,
What happened to the yellows? They
They
cancel.
cancel.
So you're left with ounces. So if you have a 9 cup of something, you have 72 ounces. What if I had 24 quarts? Let's say we made 24 quarts of moonshine. How many gallons is that?
you like moonshine?
No, I just couldn't think of anything else that had quarts and gallons. So 24 quarts times,
Some lemonade.
what goes in the bottom?
Quarts.
Quarts goes in the bottom,
Gallons.
gallons goes in the top. We find our something. Do you see a quart and gallon something?
Yes.
Right there. What am I going to put next to the gallon?
1.
What am I going to put next to the quart?
4.
Am I going to multiply or am I going to divide?
Divide.
You're going to divide 24 by 4.
12. 6.
And my units for quarts cancel.
6
So
gallons.
24 quarts is 6 gallons. Is that making more sense? All right, let's look at another one. Oops, not that one. Let's go back and get our formula sheet. Several of y'all worked on one like this today. If somebody is 9 feet 2 inches tall, how many total inches is he? Well, we want our answer to be in inches, so do you agree this is already in inches? So what we need to do is we need to convert 9 feet into inches. So So what units do I put on the bottom?
Feet.
Feet, and on the top, I'm gonna
Inches.
put inches. Then I come over and I say, how many inches are in a foot? Right there.
12.
So what am I gonna put beside the inch?
12.
What am I gonna put beside the feet?
1.
My units cancel.
9 times 3.
I'm gonna multiply 9 times 12, which is 108. So 9 feet is 108 inches plus the 2 extra inches. So how many inches do we have? This was 108 inches.
110 inches.
There's your final answer.
Wow. Make it look so simple. Make it look Alex.
I know. Now, if somebody told you, let's say your baby daddy was 5 feet 13 inches. Do you agree that doesn't make sense? Listen, girls, 5 feet 13 inches. What looks wrong with that answer? There is no 13 inches. What is the most inches I can go?
12.
12. So what we do is if our inches are over 12, we take away 12 inches and we turn it into a foot. Because 12 baby inches makes a foot. So you're taking away baby inches and you're turning it into a foot. So this is a 6 foot, 1 inch tall person. Because you can't go over 12. So if I have furniture, and this piece of furniture is 2 feet 11 inches, and this piece of furniture is 5 feet 6 inches. Well, a lot of us would just add, and they would say, hey, we need 7 feet 17 inches. But what's wrong with that? There's no 17 inches. What's the most inches we can have?
12.
So we take 12 inches away, and we call it a foot. So 7 feet 17 inches is really what?
8.
8 feet 5 inches. So if your inches are more than 12, it's like, y'all, if you have 100 pennies, you turn those 100 pennies into $1. So if you have 12 inches, you turn it into a foot. Now, what if my answer was 11 feet 29 inches? We're going to subtract the 12 inches and add a foot. So that's 12 feet 17 inches. Are we done?
No.
We subtract another 12 inches and call it another foot. So it's going to be 13 feet 5 inches. Are we good?
Yes.
You make it so much easier.
You keep simplifying them.
It's like reducing fractions. It's like simplifying. You have an improper or a top heavy because you're bigger than 12. All right, let's look at another one. Let's see what this one says. We are turning 16 pints into gallons. So we're going to do 16 pints times something. What goes in the bottom? Pints. What goes in the top? Gallon. We always want to make sure that he is equal to him, and this is going to be your answer. Now, I go to my formula sheet, and I'm looking for gallons and pints. Gallons and pints. Right here. 1 gallon is 8 pints. 1 gallon is 8 pints. Am I going to multiply or divide?
Divide.
So this is going to be 16 divided by 8. There's your answer. Cool? Let's get a little harder. This one says 1 3/4 gallons equals how many quarts? So I'm going to do 1 3/4 gallons times my something. What units go in bottom?
Gallons.
Gallons go in the bottom, and what goes in the top? So we put we put gallons on the bottom and quarts on the top. Do you see a gallon quart conversion?
Yes.
1 gallon is 4 quarts. Am I gonna multiply or am I gonna divide?
Multiply.
If I draw that one-
First you gotta get that ugly fraction out of it.
So I go to my calculator, this is what I've been teaching y'all all semester. We are doing 1 and 3/4 times 4.
6.
There's your answer. I have people freaking out because there's a mixed number. I'm like, you've been doing that since module 1. All right, look at this one. 2 3/4 quarts equals blank cups. So 2 3/4 quarts times what over what? What goes in the top? Cup, what goes in the bottom?
Quarter.
Quart. I go to my formula sheet and I am going to search all over that formula sheet for cups and quarts. Do you see a cup and quart?
Hold on. No.
No.
So you use fluid out? Fluid out?
We have, it's like all these other problems, we have been so lucky because there was a something. There's quarts and gallons, there's cup, gallons, and pints. But for this problem, you don't have a quart and a cup. So, you don't have a cup and a quart. So what are we going to do?
What are we gonna use? Fluid out?
Ready?
For real. All right. If you want to meet a man, I know him. I can get my something. But here, you want to meet cup. So you want to meet cup, but you don't see a quart cup. So I have to figure out, what does quart and cup have in common? Quart has pints in common, and pints have cups in common. So you've got to change it to cups to end up with, hold on. You've got to change it to, what?
That the one that can confuse you.
Hold on, I'm gonna do some more of these. All your other problems, you had a sentence that said 1 quart equals blank cups. This one doesn't have that something. So if you cannot find your something, you're gonna have to do 2 somethings. So quart could turn into pint, but pint has to turn into cup.
Is that cute?
Okay? So quarts turns into pints. Pints turns into cups. So we have to use 2 somethings. So what am I going to use for my first something? Pints and quarts. What's my fraction going to be?
201.
2/1. Then my other something is going to be pints and cups. What is that fraction going to be?
201.
2/1. So am I going to multiply or divide?
Multiply.
I'm going to multiply because they're all in the top.
So we use all that.
That wasn't bad.
It's not one, and the only time you know that you need to do
That's
this,
like a W.
that's like a double something.
Yeah.
So if you cannot find what you're looking for, you got to use 2 somethings. Let's look at another one. Oh, this is a good one. I have 2 or 3 of y'all today have this one. We have a rectangle that's 48 inches by 36 inches. We want to know the area. What's the formula for the area of a rectangle?
Left time.
Length times width. But we want our answer to be in feet. So we need some kind of feet times some kind of feet. So do you agree that my problem is not in feet?
Is it in?
It's in inches. So what I have to do is I have to make those inches go away and turn into feet. How many inches are in a foot?
12.
12 inches make a foot. 12 inches make a foot. Am I going to multiply or divide for this first one?
Divide.
I'm going to divide. So what is that going to give me?
6.
12 goes into 48 4 times?
No.
And what are my units?
Yeah, my bad.
What are my units?
Feet.
Feet. Here, am I going to multiply or divide?
Divide.
Divide. That gives me 3 feet. So now I can say 4 feet times 3 feet
12 feet.
is 12 feet squared because we're doing area. So this is really the first half of Module 1 and Module 2 all in one problem. It just makes it seem so much harder than it is. All right. In America, we deal with ounces, pounds, feet, inches. Well, in Europe,